Hey everyone, Jeremy ZXC Feaster here, going over the FOB Champions rule set as well as how to draft and things like that. Penne and Fat Kid Paladin asked me to make this video so that we have some sort of video communication on how you'll do this. So first off, if you're already signed up for the tournament, things like that, you'll be in the FOB Discord. You also have to enter your information into a link, which is a Google form. So just fill that information out. If you've already been past this point, the tournament has already started, but for future tournaments, so that people can refer back to this, go ahead, fill out that information. It should stay relatively similar. So everyone will have 8 best of ones against opponents. So this is important to note because, standard, it would be maybe 4 best of 2s. In this case, it's a best of 1. You'll see at the draft rule set, which I'll be going over here in a little bit later. It's also hosted on the AOE picker that SDL used. It's very similar to it, albeit with a bunch of different bands and things like that. You'll see that the map pool is stated right here in the middle of the screen as well. The draft tool, there you go, AOE2cm.net. And whenever we go through this, you'll see that it's just the typical rule set: 15 starting, 1 times income. Tiebreakers are noted. One thing to note with this is that December 23rd is your last day to play your group stage games. So for those of you that are playing in the first iteration of Champions League, note that December 23rd, that's the last day you can play your group stage games. Please make sure you get all these games in on time. Don't hold up the bracket because you forgot to play someone, things like that. When it comes to scheduling your games, you are to communicate with your opponent to schedule these games. So you'll see in FOB, there are a couple different Discord channels that go ahead and do that. What you'll want to do is make sure that you get all those scheduled out. Try to get them all in before the 23rd. The 24th through the 31st is going to be your first round of playoffs. 1st to the 8th of January is going to be the second round. In January 9th to the 17th will be the remainder of the games. There is a rule here that is should be noted is with any tournament, please bring any issues that you have to the mods. And if someone is not showing up to games, please let the moderator team know, either in FOB or let Penne, let Fat Kid Paladin, let someone know that the person is not showing up for their games. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the draft tool. So moving on to deck drafting and map drafting here, this is what the website is going to look for. It's on AOE2cm.net. So today, whenever you go through your draft and everything like that, you'll do a heads and tails and whatnot to determine who gets to be what. In this case, I'm going to be the host. DotSpy is going to be the guest. So we'll go ahead and do kind of a dummy draft and walk through the drafting process. So here at first, you'll get to ban your maps. So I don't like Omen. I don't like Valley. So then there will be a pause in between all of these. So if we keep going here, you'll get to see here kind of how this works. DotSpy is doing his picks and bans. And then there'll be another pause here. And then I, as the host or player 1, I'll get to pick the map. Let's just say I just picked Chandra. And then we move on to deck bans. So player 1 is going to get a couple you'll see that player 1 only gets 5 bans. Player 2 gets, I believe, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's important to note here as we're going through. DotSpy is clearly taking his time. Note that every time you select something to ban, you do get an additional 30 seconds to ban. It is a little difficult to go through here and take a look and see what exactly you want to ban. So just be aware of that as you're going through. Have your bans already kind of picked out. You'll see player 2, I get 5 bans in a row. I'm just picking some random decks here. And then DotSpy then gets an additional 4 bans after this for whatever he decides he wants to ban. And he's on his last ban. Awesome. And then if we press ready again, now this is where it gets interesting with the FOB Champions deck building here, is because whenever I pick a deck here, let's just say I pick 4th Moto, he actually doesn't, your opponent actually doesn't get to see what deck you picked. So in this case, DotSpy is blind picking into me, so there's no such thing as a counter pick. So there we go. We're able to see that he picked 25 yaw. Those are the pick and bans. That's how your pick ban system is going to work going forward in the FOB Champions bracket.